This is now the biggest company by far that is taking a quote-unquote pause to its advertising on Facebook. It comes from telecom giant Verizon. Verizon now saying in a statement from its chief media officer, John Nitty, quote, "We have strict content policies in place and have zero tolerance when they are breached. We take action. We're pausing our advertising until Facebook can create an acceptable solution that makes us comfortable and is consistent with what we've done with YouTube and other partners as well." So this all, of course, amid some concerns, allegations, accusations that Facebook is turning advertising profits from possibly lax policing of things like hate speech or other platforms. So this is the biggest company right now. We'll keep an eye on it. Melissa, I'll send things back over to you.
It's interesting, Dom, that Verizon, is saying that they're going to pull it until there is a solution, as opposed to for the month of July, which was what the boycott had called for.
Yeah, and a lot of other companies already have done it, right? Most of them, like, Ben & Jerry's, some of the outdoor companies like the North Face, Patagonia, others, Eddie Bauer. If you take a look at the stance that these companies are trying to take, this is a way of perhaps becoming more activist with regard to how they use their brand and how it's placed.
Sure.
But again, not putting a timeline on it is interesting here. It pretty much begs Facebook to respond in some way when a company like Verizon says they're going to halt all of it.
Yeah. Dom, thank you. Dom Chu. We should also note that Verizon recently pledged to give $10 million in funds to organizations, including the NAACP, which basically proposed this boycott. Karen, it seems like the pressure may be building on Facebook if a company of this size is saying we're going to pull for an indefinite period of time these ads until you do something.
Right. It gives cover for other big companies to do it. I mean, yeah, the pressure is really on Facebook to craft some sort of statement or solution that sort of allows them to thread the needle, which I think they will probably do. I don't know if it's going to take more big Verizons of the world to put that pressure on them, but I think it's unavoidable for Facebook at this point.
Yeah, Guy?
It's not bullish. We said it. We mentioned Tenzing Norgay the other day, if you recall. I mean, when was the last time we mentioned him on the show? And we said it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of. Good point by you. But I mean, more people are going to line up. It's just a matter of time, and Facebook's going to have to address this. But they find themselves in an extraordinarily difficult position that they put themselves in, by the way. And you can't make a bullish argument for the stock on the back of this. We've said when advertisers start to leave, that's when you have to be concerned. Well, guess what? Advertisers starting to leave, and I think it's just a matter of time before people start to leave as well. And getting back to biotech quickly, Sarepta absolutely has broken out to the upside. IBB has absolutely broken out to the upside, and the verification will come in the form of Amgen if you get a close above 245. And by the way, the Louise-Yamada indicator that you mentioned is also the spinal tap indicator that proper decorum prohibits me from mentioning. Back to you.
It's a basket of information I don't know if I'll ever use. Facebook shares, by the way, are lower in the after-hour session by about 1.4%. Steve Grosso, we've always mentioned the chicken and egg. That's where the audience is. That's where the people are, the eyeballs are. And so therefore, that's where the advertisers will go. It seems like we're breaking that cycle potentially here.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the stock has really been impressive in light of all of the headwinds. And I think with digital advertising, those numbers are going to be down for Google. And I think that this is the time where Facebook is actually, their numbers are going to actually look better. And unfortunately, you'll have advertisers leave. But I think ultimately they will come back. So I think it'll be short-lived. I think Facebook will thread the needle with some sort of commentary. But the stock has been unreal. And the reach and scope and the breadth of the name is just something that is, it doesn't exist other than Google or Amazon, but it's on the top of that heap. So I think the stock will be just fine.
The context, though, that you had mentioned, Grosso, in terms of the stock run being unbelievable, I mean, that is the context in which we are seeing a potential or the conditions for a drawdown, right? I mean, if it was priced for everything to go right, pretty much right, and then all of a sudden we see a Verizon, we know that a host of other companies out there in the S&P 500 have donated millions of dollars to organizations like the NAACP. They risk looking like hypocrites if they don't follow in Verizon's footsteps at this point, Tim.
Yeah, look, I don't think Facebook is going to spontaneously combust like Spinal Tap's drummers did. But I do think this is a big deal. I think this is, Verizon's 1 in every 10 ads, it seems, on TV, as opposed to North Face, who we never see. I think this is sending a major message, and as you pointed out, without a specific timeline, but more a set of conditions, and I think it's a big deal. Stocks run a lot. That's not great for the stock.
Well, let's say, Karen, that there are people who pull their ads, other companies who pull their ads from Facebook.
Hey, it's Steve Grasso. I got dropped.
Hey, Steve Grasso, you're on TV. You're making a phone call. Anyway, yeah. Karen, do they reallocate those funds to a Google, for instance, which you also own?
I think Verizon is begging Facebook to give them some cover. That's where they want to spend their money, right? The way they positioned the ad, the way they talked about it, they're begging Facebook to do something. I don't know I don't think it's going to TV. I guess Google, I don't know, maybe Snapchat. I don't know. I think, but Verizon is begging them to do it, to give them some cover for them and any other advertiser that's in a similar situation.